This show is part of the RetroZap.com podcast network.
If I told you half the things I've heard about this Jabba the Hutt, you'd probably shoot me.
I'm here, Jabba. Been waiting for you.
Hello, Blabba the Hutt fans, and you are very welcome to episode 28 of Blabba the Hutt.
The illustrious Jabba bids you welcome and will gladly pay you the reward of 25,000.
So the only thing that you can tell me is that I will find Jabba at Jabba's palace.
My name is Jamie. It's been a very long time since we've talked, and I am joined all the way from Arizona by our queen of droids, Kate Dubinko. How are you?
Yo, sup?
Yo, I didn't realize we were going straight for this episode. You didn't give me that in a heads up.
Sorry.
Star Wars goes street.
That's all I got.
Kate.
I don't know how else to be street.
All I got is yo.
That's the extent of my street.
Kate, how the heck are you? I feel like, and every time I start an episode, I feel like I haven't talked to you in a bajillion years.
I know.
I only realized today it's been like a month since we released an episode.
Yeah. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And let me just say on that point that the caveat about this show is an irregularly released Star Wars podcast from Ireland. Now, it just happens that for the last whatever amount of months, we've been pretty regular with every second week. But it's times like this that I'm pretty happy I put that little asterisk on the on the show.
We just
All
do
is-
whatever we want.
That's it. Yeah, you get a show when we want you to get a show. All is good here in Ireland, Kate. It's really, really good to be making another episode. It's something that I have been trying to get done, but unfortunately, as always, I have more activities than time on my calendar at the moment, which is a pain, but you know, these things gotta happen.
Real life. We always come back to that, don't we?
Getting in the way. So how are things in Arizona? All good? Full of Star Wars excitement, I assume?
Yeah, as always. It's nice here. It's finally getting cool, kind of.
Is
here.
it?
For
Oh,
here.
Very good.
But you would
No,
probably
it's only-
still die of like
See?
exposure,
yeah,
but
Us Irish, we don't really work well with the heat.
but yeah.
As of right now, we are at 81 days from Rogue One. It still doesn't feel like Rogue One is coming. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know,
It is
just
weird,
the whole promotion of it and everything just seems weird. I don't know.
Very strange. It seems to me like there's going to be a lot of confusion come December about what this film is about.
Yeah, with regards to it, like The Force Awakens, and that's what
And I was
that
only
seems to be
talking-
the buzz.
I was only talking to a friend of mine the other day who is, you know, he likes Star Wars. He's, you know, seen all the films, and it's just a cinema trip for him. It's not, you know, a podcast like us. And what he said to me was, "Oh, is this not the next one with Rey and with Finn and all?" And I said, "No, it's actually." And then I thought about it, and I was like, "Well, do you know what? It's perfectly Star Wars what they're doing, because they released 4, 5, 6, then they released 1, 2, 3, then they released 7, and now they're releasing 3.5. You know?
It's just they just want to confuse people, I think.
I think it'll be interesting to see how cinema goers react when they go in and they're expecting Rey and Kylo, and you know.
How many people are
And
gonna
then-
think that Jin is Rey?
Yeah, that's true. But no, I think they've done I can only call it an interesting job, because I don't know if it is necessarily well signposted that this is not a continuation of The Force Awakens.
Right. It's kind of like when Episode 1 came out and people thought that little Anakin was Luke.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I heard that a lot.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. We'll know in 81 days, I suppose.
We'll see.
So how has Star Wars life been for Kate DePinko over the last? I'm gonna say it's not our week in Star Wars anymore. It's our
Month?
It's at this point it's our month in Star Wars. How has your month in Star Wars been?
Oh man, gotta go back a whole month.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of just I've been kind of catching up because like I didn't finish Life Debt right away, so I finished that. I went to get the latest issue of Poe, and while I was in at the comic book store, I saw the awesome cover for the I think it was the last one for the Force Awakens novelization.
Okay.
So it was the one by the cover with Mike Del Mundo.
I don't know if it's the last one. Now I'm
is that
so
the
far
third
behind
one?
on my comics,
That might
but
have
I
been
think
third.
The Force Awakens is going to be either a 6 or an 8 part.
Yeah, it's
Um,
actually a 6-part, but I was gonna wait for the trade, but like I saw that amazing cover. It's got Rey, and then she's got the lightsaber, and then it's got like her
Oh, yeah.
flashback in the lightsaber. So like I
Yeah.
love that. And then I saw the cover that had Maz on it, and I was like, okay, I need to get these. So I
Can't
just went
pass that
ahead
up.
and got those, and I was like, there's only 2 more left, so I'm just gonna get them issue by issue. So I got caught up
Okay.
on that. I actually really liked that.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Do you know, I find myself looking at the artwork and just kind of carrying, because I know the film inside out at this point, you know, I'm just carrying the dialogue in my head, like, do you know what I mean? And you know, I think the artwork is spectacular. I think it's fantastic, and especially Rey. They have Rey so well, or Daisy Ridley. They've illustrated her so well.
Yep.
I do think that if I wasn't such a completionist, that it would be a trade purchase.
Yeah.
But some of the covers are just phenomenal.
I know. Like, I love that Maz one, too. That's so good.
Yeah, no, and you know me, I'm a sucker for a good variant.
Yep.
So your Star Wars has been very literature focused. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
And we will talk a little bit about Life Debt later on because, you know, we've only been waiting, 2 months for you to finish it so that we can talk about it.
Haha.
And in those 2 months, I'm pretty sure I've forgotten all the nitty gritty bits, but all the main plot points I should be able to recall pretty easily.
There you go.
Well, my month in Star Wars has been kind of bitty, to be honest with you. I mean, I've kind of just been so busy with everything that's been going on that that the one thing that I've been consistently hooked on, and this is like, I'm absolutely disgracefully hooked on the EA Sports or EA Galaxy of Heroes game. You know, the mobile game?
Yes, I've heard of it. I haven't actually played it.
I am very, very, very uncontrollably hooked on this. Like, it's a great game. It's a really great game. And it's kind of one of these games that it's like, oh, I'll just pop on and, you know, spend 10 minutes doing this, and then all of a sudden you've killed like an hour. Because I thought that there was like this one kind of main area that you play in, and then the rest are all like little side bits. But there's not. There's just, it's a huge game for a free mobile game. So you need to download that. We need to start a guild, and we need to take over the galaxy. We can rule it. Not father and son. Ireland and US. Binko and Jamie.
There you go.
No, it is. It's really good. And, you know, it's a typical mobile game in that you can pay to play, i.e. you can go and you can spend real, you know, life money. Or you can kind of just play for a bit every day and then wait for your energy to refill, and, you know, you win these little crystals and, you know, these different bits and pieces that you can, if you wanted, you can go spend €20 and get like thousands of them, or else you can spend 2 weeks and get 1,000 of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like that because it's not a requirement, but it is an option. Now, I haven't spent any money because I kind of don't have money to be spending on mobile games, but I can understand why people would. I mean, it's given me hours upon hours upon hours of entertainment, so I think it does deserve some people to buy. But no, it is. It's a super cool game with, you know, and the kind of idea is that you build up a light side and a dark side, and you go into battles, and you know, you kind of collect what are called shards, And if you collect 20 shards of Boba Fett, and Boba Fett only costs 20 shards, then you get that character. So at the moment, I'm saving up for Qui-Gon Jinn.
There you go.
Which leads us very nicely into a story about Qui-Gon Jinn. Did you see he's getting his own pop figure?
I did. People were getting very excited about it.
People are getting there's a lot of talk about this. Now, Kate...
It's his first one?
I think it's his first one, yeah.
Wow.
But the issue with this is it is a New York Comic Con exclusive.
Yeah.
And it is limited to 2,000 units.
Oof. Youch.
At New York friggin' Comic Con, they're only going to have 2,000. There are going to be killings.
I know, right?
And it's been mentioned more than once that, you know, he's such a prolific character and so important to Star Wars lore and to Star Wars, you know, to the prequel trilogy, that, you know, there's no way that this is the only Qui-Gon pop. Now, when you look at him, it's a very standard pop figure. You know, there's nothing about... It's not like, you know, Bespin Luke, which had his arm chopped off, you know, and then there's the regular farm boy Luke, you know. So it's a very standard looking Qui-Gon Jinn. So I'd like to see... I reckon this is going to be a situation whereby there's going to be 2,000 New York Comic Con stickered ones. But then, I don't know, have you noticed that the Bespin Luke and the... What else? There was a couple of...
They just changed like one little thing and then it's like a regular
That's
release.
it, yeah. But even at that, the Bespin Luke and the ones that were originally Celebration exclusives then became a Canadian Comic-Con exclusive and now are available to buy in a shop as Galactic Convention exclusives.
Oh,
do you know what I mean? So I wonder whether... I think and I hope that we will see this guy on the shelf.
Yeah.
Now, I really hope, because I've gone on the record, I think, on this show a few times saying I do not collect pop figures unless they're Qui-Gon Jinn or...
How many do you have now?
I think I'm on 6. Now, that's not too bad. But for someone who doesn't collect pop figures...
I might have a few more than that, but I've actually just recently got a few more this week.
Yeah? Tell us.
Or like last couple weeks. But yeah, so I won... But the Bespin Luke that you were talking about from Lillian Sky, she did a giveaway, so that was awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, Lillian.
And then, actually, before that, I was at Target, and it was just like a total impulse buy. But I saw the Luke Skywalker, the old man Luke.
Oh wow, that's a great pop.
From The Force Awakens, so I was like, I need to get them. I mean, they're not that expensive, so I was like, okay. And then I was like, well, if I get that, I need to get the Rey from the end of the movie Rey. So I looked and I saw that it was a Walgreens exclusive, so I just popped into a Walgreens and I got her. Then I did my photo shoot with the picture in the background on my computer
That was
screen.
a great photo. That was a fantastic... Actually tricked me. I was like, hey, I didn't know she brought... Because like, most of the things that you brought with you to Ireland, I knew about. And I was like, I didn't know. I don't even think the old man Luke was available as a pop when you were in Ireland. And I was like, what? And it completely... And then you just told me there 10 minutes ago.
We'll have to repost that.
Yeah.
But the only thing with the Rey, like...
Wait, you need to release the trick here.
The trick, I just set them up in front of my computer screen and took a picture.
Witchcraft. Get the stake. Start the fires. Everything on Kate DeBinko's Twitter feed is now questionable. The authenticity of it is now questionable. I bet you if I go back and look at that, it's actually incredibly obvious that it was.
You could probably see the lines, you know, like when
Hold
you
on.
take a picture of a monitor.
I'm going to look up now. Can we do on Twitter? How come? Okay. Hold on now. This is a live.
Should be about
on
a
air.
week from last week, like exactly.
Okay, so I've loaded up your profile. I'm going into media. Okay, this is live on Blabba the Hutt. Stalking. Scrolling. What the hell is that? Ready?
I don't know what
It's like
you're
some
looking
monkey.
at. Now I want to open
Scroll
it up
right.
so I know what you're
Well,
talking
you post,
about.
you post a lot of photos. Oh, we've got Ray with our missing bobblehead. Actually, you need to tell me about that.
Oh yeah, that's
There
what...
it is. Ah, now I understand.
You got it.
You put rocks on your keyboard.
Well, I like set up a box so it kind of goes up a little bit.
Yeah, you trickster. Because it actually looks like you might be in one of the beehive huts or something. And because on the left hand side of the picture here, you've got like, I don't know, a piece of rock or something. It looks like you might be on one of the beehive huts looking out one of the windows. Because I know, and a nice little puffin in the background there.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to go and look at it, it's on September 18th.
There you go.
You sent this photo. It's a very good photo, to be fair. I think you should win photo of the episode. Good job. Yeah. So tell me, Ray came not only with excitement but disappointment.
You can't see it in the picture, but like once I turned her around and looked at the back of her head, she's missing one of her little ponytail buns. She's only got two. I don't know. Like I need to tweet Funko again. I tried like tweeting them about it.
Yeah. Do you know who you need to talk to? Dengar Dan. He loves tweeting Funko.
Yeah.
But maybe that's why it's a Walgreens exclusive, because she only has two two ponytails.
Is that the deal?
I think so, yeah.
Are you serious?
I think so. Although that is... No, I did it. I did it.
It's weird. Like, because the other ones are like glued in. It's not like it could fall out easily.
It wasn't in the box,
No.
was it? You should email them.
Well, I tweeted them. I saw like just this last week there's a new handle for support, so I need to try tweeting that one.
Yeah, do. And especially if it's a new handle, then you're going to have, less followers and a higher chance of your tweet getting seen.
And I'll retweet it on Blabba, get more attention.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we can light up the...
I will get my
light up
third
the fires
Ray bun.
and get the... Yeah, and get the... we should start a hashtag, give BB Kate her bun. But anyway, the Funkos for New York Comic Con look great. They've also got Biston, who is obviously coming in the Force Awakens. Mm-hmm. He is that gunner, monkey looking guy. Sorry, not the Force Awakens. Jesus, I'm about a year behind myself.
Rogue One.
Rogue One. So he's one of these creature characters that we saw in the sizzle reel at Celebration.
Fantastic.
So yeah, Funkos are in a good place, and I'm going to ask Scott from Forbidden Planet if he would be kind enough to try and, fight off the other New York Comic Con goers and get me a Qui-Gon Jinn.
May the Force be with you.
I think the Irish guy should have an Irish actor's Funko Pop.
I think so.
So, on another note, actually, while we talk about Luke, it is Mark Hamill's 65th birthday today. So, happy birthday, Mr. Hamill. 65 very good years, very interesting years. And if you lived in Ireland, you could officially retire, but please don't.
The US too.
In the US as well? Happy days. No, not happy days. We want Mark Hamill to continue to act into his hundreds.
He doesn't seem like the type that wants to retire. Kind of like John Williams. Like,
no.
He's going to keep going and going and going.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he's
like the
here to stay.
Bunny.
Unless they kill him off in episode 8. But didn't he confirm in a... Mark Hamill can't tweet without people saying, oh my god, he's just confirmed that he's going to be in episode 22 in 2064.
Well, I mean, even if he does die, they're still Force ghosts.
Exactly, that's what I think. And that's just the joys of being Mark Hamill, I think, that you can say these things and not have, have all the constant
I think he's totally
backups.
A major troll, too. He loves trolling.
He does. He really, really, really does.
He is the Joker. I mean, come on.
And the trickster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it is a very, very Happy day for everybody today. 65 good years with Mark Hamill. And here's to the next 65, if you ask me. I think he's going to live until he's 170.
Till he's more machine than man.
Did I get it right? 1880 to 160 plus 10. Yes, I did. Look at me. Matt's on the spot, Kate. Kate, I'm not going to get into it now because I haven't seen it since Celebration, but did you watch Star Wars Rebels?
I haven't watched it yet. We'll talk about that on the next episode.
That was the sinking feeling. No, I purposely haven't watched it online because I have a routine, which I think I've talked about on previous episodes.
Your Saturday morning?
That my Saturday morning cup of tea with my cartoons. That is what Saturday mornings were made for. So we're going to move on.
You guys don't get it till the first,
swiftly.
though, right?
Yeah, so that's next Saturday for us. Well, so it's good. No, and obviously I've seen it, so...
Well, parts of it.
No, I think I saw the whole first episode. It was the second one that...
okay.
that we were a little bit tired for in it's hard to party and be dedicated Star Wars fans at Celebration in the queues at 6 o'clock every morning.
There you go.
I think it's going to be a big season for Rebels.
Yeah.
I think with Ezra, I know, it's no surprise to anybody now that he's got a new hairdo. He's grown up a good bit. There's the added influence of Darth Maul, or just Maul now. I think, are we going to see him change? Are we going to see him grow stronger, obviously, in the Force? But is he going to start... the temptation is always going to be there for him for the dark side, especially with his interest in the holocrons.
And are we going to see him as Javier Bardem in Episode 8?
Who knows? Who knows? But no, I think I'm excited for this episode this season of Rebels. Yeah, and especially, obviously, we haven't even mentioned the return of the Grand Admiral himself. Thrawn is back.
Yeah.
And he's fantastic.
Or as in the Blabbaverse, Grand Admiral Prawn.
Yeah. That was the funniest thing in the world. Again, if you don't follow us on Twitter, you miss some of the best things in the world. How long did it take you to do that?
Like 2 minutes. It wasn't very complex.
For anybody who's listening that has no idea what this in-joke is, when Kate was in Ireland, I brought her to the highest pub in Dublin. And the highest pub in Dublin, which is up in the middle of the Dublin Mountains, happens to be world-renowned for its seafood. Don't ask me why, don't ask me how a pub in the mountains is known for its seafood. But I got prawns, and the prawns still had eyes, which were a little bit freaky. And there was a picture taken of me, which is fine. I don't mind my picture being taken. But it has now been forever cemented in Blabba lore as Grand Admiral Prawn because my skin color has been changed to a nice shade of baby blue, reminiscent of a very tactical Grand Admiral. Kate, I bow to your Photoshop genius.
Oh yeah, it was so difficult.
So right now it's on the Blabba the Hutt Twitter
it's
feed,
on
which
Facebook,
if you pop
I
onto
believe, too.
Facebook too. There is no. You will all feel the wrath of Grand Admiral Prawn.
It was too perfect.
That was too perfect. Kate, speaking of Rebels, did you hear the news about Dave Filoni?
Yeah, he's no longer supervising director, correct?
Yeah. This is an interesting one, though, isn't it?
Yeah, what was interesting was, I don't know, how did it break? It seemed like it wasn't necessarily, an official Lucasfilm.
Well, it wasn't.
Yeah, it just kind of...
It was followed by the official. It was like as if, there was little murmurs and little whispers about it, and then about... half a day later, there was an official statement made
because
by Lucasfilm.
People were freaking out about it, and I think wasn't it Big Shiny Robot? I think were the ones who reached out to Lucasfilm.
Yeah. And what kind of is funny is how this is being covered online is interesting because a lot of people are saying, Dave Filoni dropped as supervising director. He's been replaced. They're all very negative headlines, which I think is really funny because anybody who knows anything about Dave Filoni and his involvement in the Star Wars universe is that he is a very, very important person in the, continuation of the saga and in the story group. And, he's obviously working very, very closely
He's
with the
basically
likes
George
of Pablo
Lucas's
Hidalgo. And
apprentice.
he is. He grew up, under the instruction of George himself, and he's been at Lucasfilm for Jesus God knows how long. Dave Filoni, if he's been taken off Rebels, it's for a very specific and very important reason.
Right.
And I actually think that Rebels has, though it's great and though it's fantastic, I think it's too small for Dave Filoni, for a mind like Dave Filoni. Do you know? Like, it doesn't seem to have the same grandeur that the Clone Wars had.
Gotcha.
The Clone Wars seemed like because it was dealing with characters like Anakin and Obi-Wan, and it was continuing that very important part in Star Wars history, which is the Clone Wars. It's one of the first things that Obi-Wan mentions in Episode 4 back in 1977. Because it covers that. That's why I think the Clone Wars has a bigger importance, whereas Rebels obviously deals with new characters and a new band of heroes. But I think Dave being taken off Rebels can only mean he's going on to something bigger.
Yeah, my initial thoughts, like earlier this week, I saw an article. It was saying about how the third spinoff is official, which I thought it was. I thought it already was.
I think it was,
but like it just seemed like
official.
It seemed like kind of a coincidence that news story broke, and then the news about Filoni. So I'm wondering if maybe he's going to be connected with that somehow.
Well, let me read out the official Lucasfilm statement here, and let's try and break it up a bit and see kind of what we can get from it, okay?
Yes.
So the official word from Lucasfilm says, Dave is still just as involved as ever, overseeing all aspects of Star Wars Rebels production as the executive producer and occasionally directing episodes. In many ways, mentoring Justin and moving him into the role as supervising director has made it possible for Dave to be even more immersed in the writing and story structure of the show, as well as creatively overseeing future animation development. Justin started with Lucasfilm Animation on the first season of The Clone Wars and worked with Dave before that on Avatar: The Last Airbender, so they've been working together for quite some time.
Wow.
So Justin Ridge is the new supervising director, and obviously has worked with Dave for a long time. But what really sticks out here with me is the word that Dave Filoni will be creatively overseeing future animation development. So does that mean that we're going to be getting another animated Star Wars show?
Well, I know, like, this was like over a year ago, and wasn't there like 2 or 3 Netflix shows that they said that there was going to be, and then we never really heard anything more. But I'm thinking we'll hear something about that in the future.
I think you're connecting good dots there, Kate. Yeah, no, I think we're definitely going to see, because I think what Dave Filoni does, and what he does very well, is he's kind of established Rebels now to a point where he can leave the team to continue to build on what the foundation is. He's obviously still very involved as the executive producer.
Yeah.
And any of the story arcs or any of the ways that this season or series is going to go will need to go and be passed through Dave, and it'll hit his desk for approval at some point, because this is his baby.
Yeah.
But he will not necessarily be as involved on an episode-to-episode basis, but more about the overall arc and story of where this is going. Obviously, kind of in the same way that Hidalgo is involved. Do you know what I mean? I kind of seen Dave being elevated to kind of the same platform as Hidalgo insofar as just making sure that the continuity and everything kind of weaves together well. But I like the idea that the animation is, the future development section of this statement, which says that there could be new Star Wars animation coming our way. And I think the fact that there has been a lot of talk with Netflix and about the fact that we could be getting a Netflix only Star Wars TV show. Now, I know there was a lot of talk about whether that'd be Star Wars Underworld. This was the canned canned show. So I mean, whether or not we're going to see kind of something come from that, because apparently all those scripts are written, everything's ready to go. It just needs to be produced.
Yeah.
You know.
Interesting.
Also,
wasn't that
I
supposed
thought,
to be like grittier though?
yeah, it
Do you
was
think they would make
supposed to be.
animated? Well, if it's on Netflix, I guess they could.
You never know, really. I mean, future animation development. I mean, what does that mean? Do you know?
Yeah.
Could be anything, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, I don't think Dave Filoni leaving is a bad thing. I think they're still going to be very, very involved and still very much on the same trajectory as had been up to now.
Yeah.
I think Rebels is in a great place for anybody to take on and create something something good out of. I know season 4 is reportedly in production, but I don't think this is going to go much further than maybe 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, because of the timeline that it's in too, it really can't. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be kind of putting, like, I don't know. What am I trying to say?
It runs into A New Hope. So
And Rogue One.
we gotta, and none of these characters. I think we've always said that the characters have to meet their fate at some point. Like And there was also suggestions as outlined by Ryan Johnson at Celebration that Dave Filoni did do a set visit of episode 8. So there's suggestions that he might go into the world of actual filmmaking, which I don't think would be a bad idea, but it's not. Filoni's always been involved in the animation end of things.
He's such a talented artist too.
Yeah. He's an all-around awesome guy.
Yeah.
We
need to get him on the show.
That would be very cool. Would be very, very cool.
Yes.
So moving from animation to literature, you finished Life Debt.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
I thought it was good. I liked it more than the original Aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
I
I agree.
Yeah, but in addition to that, Aftermath does make more sense too. I think Chuck Wendig, he got a really bad rap just because since it was the first one, first story taking place after Return of the Jedi. Mm-hmm. And so, everyone was expecting to see all the familiar faces and everything. I think that's why people didn't like it as much.
And it was such a bold step to take.
Yeah.
Now, I also think that he got a bad or a harsh rap because all the people who preach for the EU, they just wanted to give it a bad rap because they wanted to prove something, inverted commas, that they shouldn't have scrapped the EU, which I think is a lot of crap. Do you know what I mean? Give the guy. Now, I'm not going to defend it either. I don't think Aftermath was the best book I've ever read. The writing was a little choppy for me at times. I think Life Debt cleaned up everything. I loved the writing in Life Debt. I found it really engaging. The pace was brilliant. He's such a descriptive writer. I see everything just as he sees it. The development of characters, maybe because it's the second book.
Yeah.
I feel that we really got into who the characters are and, what their motives are and what the motivation, especially with Nora Wexley, I think. Or you see, it's funny. On the audiobook, it's Nora, but in my head, I always pronounce it Nora.
Really?
So it was weird because I kind of jumped between the audiobook and my physical copy of it, depending on where I was. And I always, N-O-R-A to me is Nora, because Nora to me is N-O-R-A. But no, I really, really enjoyed this book. I thought there was no real standout moments in it for me. I thought it was just a nice story about, a ragtag, bunch of rogues who, are in it for the better good of the galaxy.
Right.
I think the biggest problem with this book is the name.
Yeah. Because, was it he was paying back Chewbacca?
Yeah. So everybody was expecting to find out what the new canon life debt was.
Yeah.
As in the EU's version of it. Mm-hmm. And I think ultimately Han and Chewie didn't really play a huge part. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
you know, they were in it for quite a bit and you learned a little bit about them. But I mean,
enjoyed
it
the
still was.
Kashyyyk imagery.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was kind of sad.
Do you know what I
though.
enjoyed the most?
What?
The interlude with Maz's castle.
That was pretty awesome.
I think that was fantastic. Probably the best. That or else the chapter with, what's his name? The Rancor Keeper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was probably, those two interludes were fantastic. And that's, again, what I love about Chuck Wendig's writing is he takes you through the story. The pace is always great. But then all of a sudden there's an interlude which takes you on a completely different tangent.
Yeah.
You know, and then you go back to the story. It's kind of, it's quite refreshing to you know, to get that kind of, you know, when you're starting to kind of, you know, your pace or whatever is slowing down or whatever, and then
Yeah.
Chuck Wendig just takes you in a completely different route. It's fantastic.
I really enjoyed, I mean, spoiler alert if you haven't read it, but when they find Nora's husband and Temin's father. So I thought that was like really interesting because they thought he had died basically, and so, but then he had also like been in that stasis where his brain was all
kind of
messed
reminded me
up
of
and-
like Camino or something. That whole
Yeah, that was weird.
yeah.
But like I thought that was
again-
so interesting, just you know them being reunited together and how it wasn't what they expected, and I thought that was a really really insightful thing that Chuck Wendig did there.
And that's exactly what it is. Is like, you know, he goes into such colorful, you know, topics such as these two, you know, people who have been estranged. They're married, but they've been estranged for so long, and you know, presumed dead. And then as soon as, now I'm not going to lie to you, Kate, as soon as the thing happened with Wedge, the little fling,
Oh yeah.
I was like, he's not dead. He's coming back. What's his name? Brenton.
Brenton.
I was like, Brenton is coming back. Now, again, spoiler alert, but the most shocking part of this book, Mon Mothma. Oh my god.
That was crazy.
Oh my god. So anyone who hasn't read it, so the story kind of comes towards a point whereby Brenton, who is Laura Wexley, who's the protagonist in this, the main female lead in this story, her husband comes back, everything looks great, but actually it turns out that he's been somewhat programmed, kind of like in a bit of an Order 66 way, actually.
I was thinking Manchurian Candidate.
What's that now?
So, like, that's basically... Well, I think it was, like, an older movie. It was remade, I think. Like, I don't
Okay.
even know when. But it's the same thing. They're, like, programmed to assassinate, I think it was the president or something.
Yeah. No, it is. It's that kind of, like, perfect... It is a story that gets told again and again, where, like, you know, there's lots of people who've been brainwashed and, you know, managed to sneak in tiny guns or whatever. But it culminates in Mon Mothma getting shot.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way she's dead. I was like, there's no way she's dead.
Yeah.
But in a book like this, there could be a way that she's dead. Is she
Yeah.
dead? No, she's not dead. It was a troubling couple of chapters, though, where I was like, just tell me.
It was crazy.
But no, go on.
I was just going to ask you, before we move on, what do you think about your boy Hux's first name?
Yeah, Armitage. I was trying to do a bit of kind of research on the name Armitage, and there's not really a whole lot there. But for me, Armitage is the first half of a brand of toilet.
Is that an Irish thing?
Do you guys not have Armitage Shanks?
No. Not that
Okay.
I've heard.
Okay, well, there's an insight. Yeah, so there's a brand of toilet called Armitage Shanks. And that's all I could hear when I was like, his first name is Armitage, so his first name is half a name of a bleeding toilet.
Nice.
So what do you think?
I think it's weird.
Yeah, there's some people, it's kind of like when they brought out Palpatine's first name to be Sheev,
Yeah, it's true.
you know? It
Star
is
Wars just
quite a
has weird
grand
names.
name, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, Brendel is his dad and Armitage is his son. Now, what I did love about that is that they talked about him as this weedy little,
Yeah.
Imperial who'll never ever, make rank or whatever. So it tells us a lot about Hooks' character and how he is. He must. I mean, we know and we see in The Force Awakens when Starkiller Base shoots, that he does look conflicted in his choice. He's kind of like that son who's constantly pining for his dad's approval, and he wants to prove I am, good enough to do this. And then when he shoots and he kills, or he blows up the, what system is it? The Hosnian Prime?
Yeah.
Yes. When he blows up that, the system, he's kind of like, I know I need to do this, but Jesus, can I do this kind of thing? It's too late for me to turn back now. And that kind of, what Life Debt tells us about Hooks gives us that little insight into what he was feeling on that day, that he is this, this person who potentially could never have got there without being bullheaded, and pretending that he's somebody that he's not.
Wow. Interesting insight there.
Yeah,
Hickey.
no, it is. Yeah, no, I just think I thought it was quite cool. Do you know?
Yeah.
Who of the team stood out for you in this story?
Sinjir, I definitely had some laugh out loud moments with him.
Yeah, he's so funny.
Yeah.
He's
Who do you think would
actually
be a good person to play him on screen?
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't either.
I have no idea.
We should ask Wendig if he fan cast him.
We should do, actually. Or else we should ask the Blabba the Hutt community to fan cast it.
There you go.
I read a review a while ago about Aftermath, which said that it was humorless.
Oh, I thought it was pretty funny.
And I just, straight away, I was like, right,
especially Oh, and Mr. Bones. Yeah, him too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would laugh anytime. When he's trying to hug.
Yeah. His voice actually in the audiobook is brilliant.
I know, I love it.
If anybody gets the chance to, if they want to listen to, it's a great audiobook. It's a really, really good audiobook,
Yeah, that's how I listened.
But I think Jas Emery might be my favorite. Now, I think it's because I have a little soft spot for any Zabreks. I've been known to be a fan. I also love the insight into Nora, or Nora. I love her confliction around Snap.
Yeah.
There's a really kind of interesting, Snap is obviously coming of age. He's obviously joined this rebellion as such. And, Nora's a bit kind of, she's torn about whether she wants her son to go down this road because he has to, she's aware that he's killed people and that those are things that she's done and, that she knows that this is going to inflict, mental scars on him. And, she obviously always never wanted anything like this for him and tried to protect him by, leaving him with his aunties and whatnot. But no, I think that's one of the things that really comes through in this is the confliction around Nora Wexley.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, sorry, going back to that review that I had read about it being humorless. As soon as I read that, I was like, okay, I'm just not going to read the rest of this review because you obviously weren't reading the same book that I was reading. There are literally so many funny moments in this. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So overall, what do you think of Aftermath?
So, you mean Aftermath and Life Debt together?
Sorry, Life Debt.
Oh. Yeah, I really liked it.
Is it up there with the best that's come out so far, do you think?
I probably still like Lost Stars the best.
Mm-hmm. I'm in sync with that. Absolutely.
I mean, it's not like a 9 or a 10. It's probably maybe a 7, maybe 7.5.
I was thinking about this earlier, and I was like, I think a 7 is where it's a nice, comfortable 7.
Good, solid.
It's a good read. gives you good
I don't
insight
remember
into.
what I gave what I gave Aftermath. Probably it was like a 6. So I
Well, we
liked it
can
more.
retro score. Yeah, no, I think Wendig has really kind of upped his game for this one. And I hope it wasn't on the back of poor reviews, because I don't think Aftermath was a terrible book.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't think it got the...
It just wasn't what a lot of people were expecting.
Yeah, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So no, I think it's something that if you haven't read yet, you should definitely read. I know we're a little bit behind the curve here with
Only
Aftermath.
2 months
but
behind. Come on.
only 2 months behind, yeah. But go and get it. And
I
if
just
you
wanted
have
to get
the,
it done before Ahsoka comes out.
And if you have, yeah, definitely, I'm so excited for Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So excited. If you have the interest, though, make sure you listen to Life Set. And even if you've read it in actual physical copy, I think it's worth it. Even just
Star
for
Wars
Mr. Bones.
audiobooks are the best.
Yeah, they really are good. They really are good. So, moving on from Life Debt, we are 5 days out from Force Friday, Kate.
Yes.
Which seems like the most underwhelming Force Friday. Another thing that's funny about the marketing of this film.
Yes.
Is there any... I know, see, Force Friday doesn't happen here, unfortunately. The Disney Ireland have confirmed to me on Twitter that there will be no Force Friday. Am I right in saying that Toys R Us are doing it?
Yeah, I haven't... That's it. I think there might be more. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I saw that they're giving out, like, free t-shirts or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
But yeah, like, I went to the Disney store here a couple weeks ago, and she's like, no. She said they were opening at, like, 6 in the morning, and there might be some events, but, like, nobody really knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And then at Target, like, I asked the lady in the toy aisle, she looked at me like I was crazy, and she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, never
You are a
mind.
grown woman asking about toys.
So I'm pretty sure Target's not doing anything. I mean, unless it's changed in a couple weeks, but...
Yeah.
I did see that with Target, though. Like, they have a promotion where if you spend, like, $50, you get, like, $5 off or something like that.
On Star Wars stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite cool.
And then it was, like, if you spend $100, it's, like, a certain amount off.
Well, there's a chance you might spend those amounts.
I don't know. I'm trying to save money, man.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular that you were excited about with this?
Well, then what's the new astromech? R5 something?
I don't know, but I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, the one
Again.
I got mentioned on Twitter Moments for. I don't even remember his name. It's the one that looks like R2, but he's like Imperial.
Yeah.
Like, I'll probably get him the Disney Elite series one.
Yeah. To go alongside your other
Yeah.
Elite series.
Exactly.
He is
I don't think we mentioned that,
C2B5.
did we?
What did we not
I
mention?
didn't mention that in my week of Star Month. What am I
Oh, your week of Star Month.
Now we're just making up new phrases. We don't just make up words anymore.
We're just making it up. Well, this is what listening to Blabba the Hutt is all about.
But yeah, so a couple episodes back, remember I had gotten them and I wasn't sure if I wanted to open them.
Yeah.
Well, at the Disney store, they were on sale. I got them for $18 each. So I ordered the R2 and 3PO and Rey and BB-8 and opened them all.
Is that the original Rey and BB-8 or is it the one with the lightsaber?
She did come with a lightsaber. She came with a lightsaber, her staff, and a backpack.
Yeah, so the original one didn't have the lightsaber because
really?
obviously it was Force Friday last year. So, spoiler alert.
Okay.
But yeah, so I would say you're not going to be able to get that one for.
Wow. Well, I basically just wanted it for BB-8.
Yeah, and it's a great BB-8 that comes with those. The Elite series are great. I'm actually playing with my Stormtrooper right now. The only one I took out of the box is is the First Order Stormtrooper,
Uh-huh.
which I just realized he has a little clip on his leg that I can put his pistol on, which is great
Fantastic.
because I didn't want a Stormtrooper holding two guns because it's just not the way Stormtroopers work.
But
It's
yeah,
the little
so-
things in it's the little things in life.
So I mean, that's like the main thing I want to get. But then you sent that link over. Like, I might have to look into that smart R2D2.
Yeah, I think that's smart R2D2. It looks like it's gonna be I don't even want to say it's the same caliber as the
I don't
Sphero
think it's
BB-8.
Sphero either, right?
No, I don't think it is.
Is
But
it like
what I
is it like a 1/6 scale? Because I have like an older version of that, but it's not like connected to phones or anything. But it is voice
Yeah.
activated.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. If you look at the actual image, number 4 on the link that I sent you, the detail on it looks all right. You know, it doesn't look like it's going to be the highest quality or the most amazing looking R2 unit you'll ever get. But if
Yeah.
it's Bluetooth, or I mean, it could be a speaker. I don't even know. It just says smart R2. But wouldn't be you, Kate Domingo, Queen of Droids, if you didn't look into it.
I know. I don't know how expensive it's gonna be.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I would like to
Yeah.
get the force band thing for the BB-8 too, but that's just the force band itself is like what, $60-$70?
Yeah. And do you use your Sphero BB-8 enough to warrant
No, I
another
haven't used it
$60?
forever. I haven't used it since Skellig Michael.
And what a use! What a great use of it.
Yeah.
What I'm really excited for is, like, obviously there's loads coming by way of Jyn Ersos and all that kind of stuff. I don't think I'm going to get too immersed in any of that yet. Now, I say that now, but, come September 30th, that can change very, very quickly. But I'm excited for the Black Series Stormtrooper helmet with voice changer that is 1-to-1 scale and is only €79. That's €80 for a really good, high-quality Stormtrooper helmet, which, to be honest with you, is going to be nothing but a staple piece in my man cave, It's
You should
just gonna be a
definitely
really
use
nice
it for photo
display
ops
piece.
for your wedding.
She'd love that. She'd absolutely love that. Actually, I might buy her one as well.
There you go.
For anyone that doesn't know, my future wife is not a massive Star Wars fan. She puts up with my obsession. She is, however, actually, I have to say this because I'm so proud. So last month we went to Harry Potter World in London. She's a massive Harry Potter fan, and she took the plunge and bought a wand. She's officially a nerd. I was like, that's
Nice.
as bad as me buying a lightsaber. You are now a nerd. You're one of us. Welcome to the club.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for the full scale Stormtrooper helmet, and mainly because I think I'm gonna scuff it up. I think I'm gonna use the shoe polish on it in order to try and give it a bit of battle worn look. But other than that, there's nothing really that's
I know. It's not
kinda
like
too
last
excited.
year. I'm just
not-
not even
there's-
super excited for like t-shirts or anything like that.
Yeah. There's nothing really, and the thing about it is I'm really excited for Rogue One. I'm really excited for what will be, hopefully, a grittier Star Wars
Yeah.
film. But there's just nothing really I don't think it's
I'll
going to be,
just-
it's definitely,
I'm gonna wait till like next year when it's all on sale, and then maybe I'll buy some.
that's it. That's it. But yeah, no, Force Friday this year, or Rogue Friday as it's been termed as now. Well, first of all, it's not at all happening here in Ireland. And it
So like
seems to
you
be
don't even
happening
have stuff released on like during the day on that Friday?
Oh, we have it on the 30th. That's when everything. But
There's
it's
just
just
no
like
like
a regular.
midnight
Yeah,
things or
it's just a regular they got new stock in. They're
Gotcha.
putting it on the shelf.
There's
There's
no,
no
like,
kind of
events or
hustle or
anything.
bustle. Exactly.
Gotcha.
But like what I'm kind of most disappointed about, and it's not about the 12 o'clock or the midnight opening, but last
Mm-hmm.
year when they did the 24-hour YouTube stream,
Oh yeah.
the live unboxing of all the stuff was fantastic.
Maybe they're saving that for like the episodic movies, so like next year we'll get that again.
Yeah, I suppose maybe they're gonna really up it for that.
Yeah.
But alas, we have new Star Wars stuff coming, and I suppose that's what we should be happy and excited about.
Woohoo.
And Rogue One is going to happen, or Rogue One toys are going to happen on September 30th across the globe. And I'm still excited to see what comes. Now, they've been really poor, like all the targets and everything that you see online on Twitter that have accidentally put out the Rogue One stuff and people have bought it.
I haven't seen anything in the ones I've gone to.
But I haven't either. Now we seem to be fairly good at that, but it seems people have got stuff online, and if you go onto eBay now, you can buy something and have it delivered to your house tomorrow. Like, do you know what I mean? They seem to have been really lax with the stock control for some reason. It's not quite, because like there's so many people.
I have seen a lot of people who are like, especially K2SO.
I was gonna say, are you gonna pick up K2SO?
Yeah, maybe.
I think you kind of have to. I think I'll probably pick up K2SO.
Yeah,
I just think he's cool. He has a bit of a
elites.
Mr. Bones feel to him.
Yeah, I gotta get all the droids for the elites, I think.
Yeah. If nothing else.
Yeah. Oh, did you see the 6 droid figure from Entertainment Earth coming out? I probably need that. It's like 6 just these random R2 units. And it's the packaging, though, is like this giant R2 unit. It's amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'll post pics.
Hold on. 6 droid Entertainment Earth is what it's called?
Well, that's the company.
Okay, I need to look at this. Oh, wow. Oh, and you've got... Jeez, they're mad looking, aren't they?
I need that. Like...
And it has R2KT in it.
Is that R2KT?
Well, the pink astromech.
Yeah.
Unless it's just a pink astromech.
I think it... I don't know. I don't know her well enough. But that one's got, like, different designs than a usual one.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, the blue one does, too. But, yeah, I definitely need that, like...
Yeah, that's quite cool. It's $80, though. It's not cheap.
I know. But there's 6 of them.
Yeah, I suppose. We'll just let you feed the beast.
I'd rather not get any Rogue One stuff and get that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I do gotta get K2SO, though.
I'd rather have this.
That's okay. Between us, we can collect everything.
There you go.
Cut the channel, Red 2.
Okay, Kate. Well, Jesus, there's a fair bit packed in there. Everything from Life Death to comics to Dave Filoni. It's good to be back. It's good to be back talking Star Wars with you. I never mentioned. I just want to say a massive thank you to absolutely everybody who helped us come third in the Irish Blog Awards.
Woohoo!
We came third of the entire country. There was over 2,100 blogs entered into this competition. There was 22,000 votes.
But
it came down to 42 winners, of which on the day for the TV and film category in Ireland, Blabba the Hutt won the bronze award. Now, it's not the gold, which is a bit of a disappointment, but you know what? It just adds to what has been a phenomenal year for us here at Blabba the Hutt, and a phenomenal, huge surprise for us that we kind of got this far and got through and right down to the end. And me and Gary went on the night, and it was a fantastic night. They put on a great show in a circus. But yeah, no, third, so I will take that any day of the week, and let's just aim for gold next year. So yeah, with that, we are coming to the end of our 28th episode of Blabba the Hutt. Actually, Kate, give a quick plug for your next episode of Nerd of Paradise.
So the next episode of Nerd of Paradise is the Nerd of Paradise 1-year podiversary. Woo! So I thought, what better topic to do for that than podcasting itself? So it's all about podcasting. I have a ton of guests. I've actually started editing. So total, there will be 10 guests, including Jamie, his illustrious.
I hear he's a really good interview. Yeah, I like that guy. He knows nothing about podcasting, though. I don't know why you put him on your show.
But yeah, so actually on September 30th, it's like International Podcasting Day or something.
Oh, and Rogue Friday.
Oh yeah, huh? So I'm gonna try to either release it on or before that, and then it's kind of like in addition to podcast. So it's like podcasting celebration.
That's really. Is there anyone else from the Star Wars world making a?
Yeah, it's like mostly
feature?
Star Wars people.
That's alright.
So like
That's
it's
all right.
a couple. It's like people who listen to our podcast might recognize Darth Taxus and Dennis from.
Of course, from
S
Starship
Cube.
Sabers and Scoundrels.
Yeah, so I got them on there. I got the Children of the Force gang.
Awesome.
as well as some listeners, some fans of Blabba, like Steve down in Australia,
Oh, awesome.
our buddy Steve.
Yeah,
Allison, cosplay for Jedi.
awesome.
Patty, she's a big fan of the show.
Yeah, we met her in Celebration. She's awesome.
And then we also talked to Rob. He does the Doctor Who show now, but that's where I got my Star Wars
of
my
course,
podcasting beginning when he did the Star Wars Doctor Who podcast, Who Wars. I think that's
Awesome.
all
So that sounds like a great, great lineup of people.
So yeah, it's gonna be it's either gonna be like, even if I do 2 shorter episodes, they're still gonna be like 45 minutes at least each.
Awesome.
But I might do
No, I
one
look
long
forward
one.
to that.
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so
no, it's
watch
great.
for that.
It's great.
But and then
Definitely.
oh sorry.
No, I was just saying, just agreeing with you.
In addition to all the guests too, like there's also tons of like shout outs and podcast recommendations. So like you might get some ideas for like more podcasts if you listen to that too.
Awesome.
So yeah.
And where will people be able to find this episode?
You can subscribe to Nerd of Paradise on iTunes, or I think whatever podcatcher thing you use. And then of course nerdoparadise.net, and then just check the Twitters for links.
Awesome.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, I mean, make sure when you release it that you do tag our good selves in it, and all our followers should be able to
There you go.
listen in. No problem.
Definitely.
Actually, very quickly, speaking of places that you might listen to Star Wars or to podcasts in general, there has been a new version of the Star Wars podcast app, which is an amazing project put together, which basically just houses all of the best that there is in Star Wars podcasting. It's only, unfortunately, Android, so
with
any of you
that?
iPhone people, I think it's because it's harder to get things into the Apple Store, and probably because they don't own the rights to Star Wars.
Gotcha.
I'd say that's why it's not on the Android or on the iOS app. But it's definitely out there for Android, and it's a great little podcast, or a great little app that gives you access to all podcasts. I think there's like 20 odd podcasts on it now, of which one of them is Blabba the Hutt. They're all family friendly as well, so you can be sure that, you know, all the content in it is nice and, you know, PG and suitable for little ears should you be playing it aloud. Which is a great way to, you know, to be sure, you know, that you're going to get a nice, clean, family fun podcast.
There you go.
Kudos has to go to Joe Mignano. Is that how you say his name, Kate?
Why are you asking me?
I don't know. I just assumed you might
Sure.
have a second opinion. And
Yeah,
Joe,
that sounds
thank
good
you
to
so
me.
much for featuring Blabba the Hutt in the list of amazing. I mean, it has everything from Blabba to Rebel Force Radio, you know, Full of Sith, the whole lot. The whole band of us are there.
Yay.
Everything you could ever want in Star Wars podcasting.
Deadly.
But yeah, no, other than that, I think the only thing to say is that there is a whole world of Star Wars content up on blabbathehut.net, which you should head over, have a read. There's a couple of really good things haven't gone up there recently. Kate, your 1 year reflection, congratulations, you've made it a year listening to my crap.
Do I get an
by the
award?
time, and the award for best co-host on Blabba the Hutt goes to
Wow.
Kate.
I get that award and the best photo award in
and the
same
best photo.
episode?
No,
Wow.
hold on. It's only the best photo of episode 28.
Oh.
Not the best photo. Don't get ahead of yourself, Nick. We don't want you getting a big head, you know.
Okay, I'll try to outdo myself for episode 29.
Exactly, yeah. There's another big award up, best photo for episode 29. But yeah, no, blabberthehut.net houses all sorts of great content. There's going to be a great article going up in the next couple of days, which should be up by the time this episode comes out, which is all about the Galactic Spectacular from Florida that Gary was over there in. I've read it. I did the proofread there last week, and it is a great piece of content. Super engaging, really kind of gives you a good insight into what's going on over in Florida at the moment. And then on top of that, all the usual spots to get everything Blabba the Hutt is Blabba the Hutt on Twitter, on Facebook. Search us on iTunes and you will find us on your Android downloader. I don't know, there's so many different apps that you can use for it. Just search Blabba the Hutt and you should find us. And we would be very thankful if you A, subscribed, and B, if you fancy dropping a little review. That would be fantastic. And just make sure that if you are following us on Twitter that you talk to us. I mean, we have some great conversations up there. Some of the craziest stuff in the world happens on Twitter with Blabba the Hutt.
There you go.
That's it. So Kate, from me and from my Stormtrooper friend here who's looking at me,
and from me and my two Bond Ray,
may the Force be with you.